Hey there guys, and welcome to another family-friendly review. Today we are going to be reviewing Grid Autosport. So this is a game I've been very much looking forward to coming out. I'm a fan of the series. The original Grid, Race Driver Grid, is my favourite racing game of all time. So Grid 2 was a bit of a disappointment for me, so this game sort of seems to be promising to set right what Grid 2 did wrong and bring it back up to sort of the standard of the original. So with that in mind, this game is a bit of a mixed bag, I have to say. I really was hoping for more from this. And don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible game. In fact, it's a pretty darn good game. Well, not pretty darn good, but well, I'll start off with the good stuff. The handling is fixed from Grid 2. It's not a crazy arcade racer anymore. You can't just handbrake round a hairpin at 120 mile an hour and be fine. It sort of straddles the line between simulation and arcade again, which is great. So whether you're a fan of simulation, hardcore, or you know, just a fan of arcade races, this is a happy medium. You should be fine with it. There's a great selection of different cars, loads of different cars. They all look nice. All the tracks, there's loads of tracks, and they're in really cool locations, and they're all pretty darn fun to race on, actually. There's loads of different modes. The online mode is really good. It's almost its own separate game, really, but yeah, that's always good fun. That have a race or two online, and I guess that brings me to the bad bits. This is a longer section. Right, where do I start? I'll start with the AI. It's brutal and a bit stupid. So I've played all the other games in this series on the hardest difficulty with assists turned off and won pretty much every race. On this game, I can only play it at medium with all the assists on, and I still struggle. So for a newcomer to the series, good luck. This game is really hard. The first race it throws you into, the very first race, it gives you a car that handles like a turd, and then sticks you up against really hard opponents. So it gives you a taste of what you're in for. They are stupid in that they brake at just dumb places, so you're always flying into the back of them because they're braking for no reason, which is pretty annoying because it quite often causes you to mess your car and the corner up. And they just don't care where you are on the track, so they just happily ram you off and pootle on by as your car flips over in the sand, which is all very annoying. There's also a feature in there where if you go over the white racing lines, it will penalise you by reducing your speed and keeping it at a reduced level for a few seconds. I can see why they did it. They didn't want people taking shortcuts and cutting corners all the time. But it's really, really oversensitive, and it really gets on my nerves. I'm not an angry gamer, but at one point I shouted at my screen. It seems to be almost just so sensitive, and you only very slightly, barely get close to going over it, and it penalises you. Or if you go for an overtake and you just slightly clip just over the racing line, and bam, you've got a penalised, you're slowed down, and you stay slowed down, everyone overtakes you. Or what I find even more infuriating is that one of the dumb AI cars can ram you over the white racing line and you're crashing, and it still penalises you, which is just stupid in my opinion. There's also quite a few boring game modes like drift, the 24-hour, well, not 24-hour, the endurance races, they're really boring. Pretty much the entire tuner section is boring, which is a shame because the original Grid, drifting was good fun, endurance was really good. It came up once a year, and it would be a 24-minute long race in Le Mans cars around a Le Mans circuit, and you'd see the day-night cycle, and it'd be all very tense. With this, it's just 8-minute races that you wish would be more like 3-minute long. Also, the damage engine, I've noticed, is the least impressive of the Grid games so far, and is still inferior to the original Grid's damage engine, which is, well, it's very high tech compared from what I've seen to this thing, which is again just silly because the original Grid is very old now, and this game still just can't top it on that. Another complaint I have, yes, another complaint, is the campaign mode, which is a soulless drudgery. It's basically, well, it's about on par, if not a bit worse, with Grid 2's campaign. In Grid 2 you had to sort of popularise a new World Series racing event. In this, you just, well, basically they say, here's a race, go do it, earn some money. Which doesn't really compel you that much to race. Again, the original Race Driver Grid did much better. It started you off as, you know, your own team, and yeah, it gave you a rubbish car, and it made you build your way up, try and move your team up the rankings, hire teammates, stuff like that. It was just better. So again, it falls behind the original game in that respect. Oh yeah, another thing. This game does have co-drivers you can have on the track with you. One neat thing is that you can control how they drive, so you can on the fly change if you want them to try and drive defensively, try and hold their position, or go on the attack, try and move up a position. But in reality it's pointless because every single one I've had has sucked and come consistently in the bottom 3. So they're kind of pointless, to be honest. My final complaint about this game, yeah, my final one, rejoice, is its graphics. Now I'm going to bring up on screen a comparison between Grid 2 and Autosport, and you're going to notice there's not that much difference, to be honest. And Autosport is classed as a next-gen game, and it's not a bad looking game. I say it's not bad, but it's definitely not next-gen. And I have noticed some very ugly textures actually at times, especially when in cockpit mode, that, you know, even in last gen you wouldn't expect to see textures like that. So I know it's nitpicky, but this is meant to be next gen, so you shouldn't be getting that sort of thing. So yeah, that's my review then, guys. My first one that's, well, it's not entirely negative. The game's not all bad. What it does well. But yeah, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, then please hit that like button, punch the subscribe button, it really does help. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!